Hey, Jess, it's Friday. No, actually, it's Saturday, so I apologize for the rare Friday to Saturday video upload, but there were a lot of things going on lately. A lot of good things, but a lot of things going on, and we've been pretty tired, so yeah. So as you know, California is facing one of the most severe droughts on record, and that led to Governor Brown basically making it illegal to water your lawn, which led me to ask my wife the question, why don't we have the technology yet to basically make fresh drinking water out of all of this salt water we have right in our backyard? I mean, having all of this salt water and turning it into drinking water, like, why isn't that a thing yet? I felt a little bit silly to find out that I don't have my finger on the pulse of what is called desalination. Right here in our very own county, in the city of Carlsbad, they are building a very large desalination plant. In fact, it's going to produce about 50 million gallons of water and produce about 7% of potable water needs here in San Diego. So I realized that this is fascinating to a very few. So I decided that I was going to sprinkle into this video a few bits of my kids, because let's face it, they're going to draw a lot more views than I am. So for the uninitiated, that was, water covers at least 70% of the world's surface. But 97% of water is too salty to drink, so that, coupled with inequalities in water distribution and geographic availability and water scarcity, is a big issue for a lot of people.
For centuries.
You're right. People have been searching for freshwater solutions for centuries, especially those who are surrounded by salt water. Folks in water-starved parts of the world, especially those who are surrounded by salt water, have been looking for solutions for centuries, and it turns out that the process is equal to basically a first-grade science project.
The salt water evaporates and leaves salt crystals behind.
That's right, and then the resulting condensation basically gets collected, and therefore you have fresh drinking water.
Like I have over there at the dinner table.
So currently, large-scale desalination efforts require a lot of energy to operate, and they're also pretty high maintenance.
And they're also really expensive.
Yes, they're very expensive to operate, maintain, and to build.
That's pretty good, Dad.
Thanks. So this idea is nothing new. There's around 1,400 desalination plants and another 240 or so under construction as we speak, and most of those are in the Middle East. However, the one here in Carlsbad is going to be the largest one in the Western Hemisphere. The bottom line is that there are very serious consequences for those who depend on water living in severe drought areas like here in the state of California, but there are also very serious health consequences for those who are having to get their water from contaminated sources. Over the years, the number of people that are having to deal with freshwater scarcity is actually going way down thanks to technology like what is happening out in Carlsbad, even when there is a severe drought afoot. The only thing I haven't found out yet is, what are we going to do with all the salt that we have taken out of the salt water? Oh, so it turns out that the extracted salt actually dissolves back into the excess seawater, and then it forms this, in the process, it forms this so-called brine that gets diluted back into the sea, and then the process starts all over again. So more than you may have wanted to know ever about salt and sea and fresh water. So I'll see you next week.